Imagine if you have to sit down for 15 minutes before you watch a movie just thinking about these things. What else can we add to this list? Because again, the more the better. We need more white pages, so just add as much as you can.
Probably the whole movie shared with the kids that it's actually a real life. How parents work so hard to get them what they need. And in order for that to get back, they're thing for us as parents, I think, to get their listening, that when we said something, because we know what is better for them,
right,
and teach them that.
So it's a practical learning experience to the children, right? And it's part of our parenting responsibility, right? And obviously Allah wants us to take care of our children and to teach them ethics and morals. So again, it pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that sense.
I was going to say to teach them to be critical thinkers, so that when they're watching a movie, you can discuss it with them and explain to them the bad parts of it, good parts of it, and accept rather than just having it being passive observers.
Critical thinking sounds great, but who cares about critical
thinking? So that you teach them how to critically think, so that in real life, when they get up, they're able to make better choices and make the choices that people like to know about.
Very good. Critical thinking, watching a cartoon movie, and you, in your mind, you're thinking of teaching your children critical thinking. I think that's really great. What else? Anything else we want to add to this column? So at least the 2 hours of watching Finding Nemo can be turned into an act of worship. Sisters, wallahi, I'm not exaggerating. This will get you enough hasanat. It's just as if you're praying or reading Quran. This is how serious this stuff is. Reading, if you read Quran with no heart, with no intention, just and just flipping pages, do you think this will count for anything?
What do you mean by intention? If I read Quran, that's what...
No, the mere act of reading Quran would earn you nothing. If you're not doing it for a reason, because you might be reading a newspaper, right? You might be reading CNN on the internet. The mere act of reading itself will earn you nothing unless you're doing it, because you have to say to yourself, well, the Prophet said, for every letter that I recite in the Quran, I will get a hasanah. That's why I'm doing it. So you have to have a consciousness about it. You can't just do it like a robot without knowing what you do. You've got to be conscious about it and have an intention on doing it for a reason. Okay? And that's what the mistake that most of us, and that's why the issue of intention is so important. If you don't have that intention, it'll count for nothing. And I'm pretty sure that all of us, when we read the Quran, we have some kind of an intention about it. I mean, we don't just open a book and we don't know what we're doing. Okay? But you got to be conscious more about it, inshallah, in order for it to work.
I have a question for you. What if you're sitting down to a movie or watching TV and you have no family with you, you live alone? How can you turn that kinship and morality and critical thinking into something that benefits you?
You tell me. You're not watching this with the kids. You're watching it by yourself. How can you turn it into an act of worship? I mean, I can think of 3-4 intentions myself, but I'll let you suggest something.
Can she just be honest with herself and say, I've done I've read my Quran since you're by yourself.
I need some quality time, some entertainment?
No, I need a relaxing time, even though you might be watching TV, but you're not really watching TV, you're just relaxing. And you've done everything that you have to do.
But how can we make relaxation an act of worship?
You have to be in better mood, so not fight with your husband when you go.
Okay, I can take that. Okay, so...
What if you don't have it? You're by yourself, period.
I'm just saying, it's entertainment, right? Movies are about entertainment, right? Why would you watch a movie unless you find some benefit in it? You just trying to kill some time?
She wants to learn. You want to learn about something that the movie's offering.
Even if she's not trying to learn, what if she's just watching the movie for mere entertainment?
To relax, to slow down the blood pressure.
Actually, there is a hadith where the Prophet says you have to entertain yourselves every once in a while because bored hearts are blind. If your heart is bored, it'll be blind. إِنَّ الْقُلُوبَ إِذَا كَلَّتْ عَمِيَتْ. If your heart is bored, it'll be blinded. You will not be able to identify the truth. So actually, entertainment is an order from Muhammad ﷺ. So even if you're watching the movie for mere relaxation and entertainment, it's still good in and of itself as an object.
Still, she can turn it to kinship, moral, and critical thinking to improve her kinship and morals. When she moves, watch the movie. When we watch the movie by ourselves, we might improve our feeling towards kinship and improve our morals.
Okay, so basically it might still apply to you if you become a better critical thinker yourself and you make better decisions, and if you make better decisions, obviously you'll do more halal than haram and Allah will be pleased with you. So it can be also looked at in that sense. Okay, I think that's enough for this one. Let's go to another controversial one, music.
That's a difficult one.
Okay, so again, you have to decide, initially whether listening to music is halal or haram. Okay? It's the first question you have to ask yourself. Sister?
I had a question about music. You just said earlier that there was a hadith where you have to entertain yourself. So listening to music, is that considered entertaining yourself?
Again, the issue of music is really one of the most controversial issues in Islam. Let me just put it that way. And the scholars have greatly disagreed over the years about the nature of music and whether it's halal or haram. And you have a spectrum, a variety of opinions, all the way from anything that makes sounds in a rhythmic manner is absolutely haram, all the way to people that just make it halal, with no reservations whatsoever. And I think the truth lies somewhere in between. And I personally believe that the mere listening to music is not haram if you're being selective about what kind of song you're listening to, and if it's not taking away from more valuable time that you need to spend with your family. If music becomes an obsession or an addiction, and you see those high school students walking around with their CD players, with their headphones completely consumed in music, it's the center of their lives. Right? And they constantly purchase new CDs and they go for the profane, disgusting, dark culture of music. I think that would be haram, in my personal opinion. But if you listen to, a nice piece of classical music every once in a while, a song that teaches people about morality or something that is just benign, that does not advocate anything haram, objectifies women or talks about violence or uses this kind of language or that kind of language, or the idol of love and all these kinds of things just consume people, I would think that music is not inherently haram. It's how people treat it and how people deal with it is what makes it haram. So again, when I say music, I'm talking about something that is that would not be objectionable. And let's just, for the sake of this argument, make this listening to a nice Vivaldi piece or something like that. So you're not really listening to Britney Spears. You're listening to or Sami Yusuf is nice. I mean, I wouldn't think that Sami Yusuf music would be haram. It's really something that moves your heart. So as such, I don't think it would be haram. So I hope that issue, inshallah, is settled. Although you go elsewhere, you'll find people who will tell you it absolutely is haram. It's just not what I stand